Alright, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How's everyone doing? Actually, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everybody who was nice about my chart colours. Everyone else who said I was gay, liked to watch oiled men wrestle, or some kind of permutation of I'm colorblind. Bad afternoon, bad morning, and bad evening. Bloody rude. That's what that is. What I should have just posted is roast me. Because I basically just fucking asked people what they thought and just got a torrent of abuse. I fucking love CT, man. Never change. I feel like I've got my audience to a point where they're such sadistic fucks with a dark sense of humor that that I like it. It's good. Just absolutely rip me apart for having some form of pink on a chart. It's good. I like me easy spot on the CT cesspool. Yeah, that was kind of what I was going for, like, genuinely. Is I wanted to be like, oh, that's a fucking Charlie chart. You see it, and you just know. Because no other dumb cunt is colorblind enough to use these colors. So it kind of worked, right? Anyway. Chart colors aside, internet nerds have the best humor on the planet. Yeah, so true, man. It is so true. I just flicked to Discord and all I saw was Maga say 34 inches. Jesus. Right. Let's do some stuff, shall we? I've spent most of my day trying to long this piece of shit. Just does not want to break out. So I might just close my position and it can just run. It just looks... So thought process behind this Nero CTO thing is one, it's obviously just gone fucking mental. Ever since it launched, right? It just seems to be ridiculously parabolic. I'm really glad I didn't just throw like a small amount of money in it when SC first fucking showed it to me at like 2 mil market cap. Really glad, obviously. So everything else like post then is like a revenge trade, but if you start looking at it structurally and from a beta perspective, like it's because it's a liquid, right? So please don't get me wrong, like I completely understand how this works in terms of there's not really much liquidity on either side, so when it goes up it's going to fly up, when it comes down it's equally going to fly down, and it will come down at some point, just like everything, but at the moment it's high beta intraday, so here it's been pretty reasonable in terms of like this rotation here, this rotation, this rotation, this rotation, like pretty much in play. And looking at it from like a 4-hour perspective, you kind of just want it to dump on the basis of like it's ridiculously oversold in terms of RSI, like it's in an extreme, but there's really no major divergence to kind of play off. Like this is it's there if you squint, but structurally the way it stands on a 4-hour basis, I would suggest it's far more bullish than bearish. And if you want to get bearish on it, like the invalidation is genuinely really simple. It was either in this failed push here, which is my classic setup of almost parabolic move, and then you short the next lower high, which in this case would have been that, but a failure up here, I could justify it on the basis of like from a 4-hour perspective, that is it. But now we're pivoting above this. That's my imaginary little meme line. I'm long in this, and just if it runs, it runs, and if it doesn't, well fuck it. I've averaged. I think my entry's actually about here. On average. No, it's not. Hang on, let me peep the chart. No, it is literally here. It is literally like on the pivot. It's 1748. It's there. So I'm long from here, and it basically looks like this, right? Real fucking simple. Like that in terms of sizing. I like this in terms of target. Just fucking run it. I'm playing for a breakout play. I'm not playing for some pussy ass little like 2% rotation, right? That's the thought process. Real fucking simple. Real fucking simple. If it gets cocked on stream, it gets cocked on stream. Who cares? How's everyone feeling? Are we all bullish? Are we all bearish? Are we all pretty don't give a shit? On the market in general, I mean, not just shitcoins. Is this thing on? Anyone chatting today, or is everyone fucking quiet? Has everyone given up? Has everyone capitulated? Has everyone just sold their bags and fucked off into the night? In which case, I would be glad. All our hopes in Nvidia. Bigla. Hello. I think, you know, one of the things I am noticing is that people are getting fucking bored of like this PvP range stuff, finding it difficult to trade, yada yada yada. Whereas, I think these are like the best times, to be honest. You've got time on your side, you've got plenty of opportunity, I think, in terms of rotations. I think there's plenty of low caps out there, which I like. There's some meme coins that are just rallying ridiculously. There's not much in terms of new launches that I'm particularly hyped about, but yeah, there's plenty of low caps that have kind of not seen a proper cycle. And that's what I like, right? So there's a couple of like 2 million market cap coins that I'm slowly acquiring. I've probably got like 1% of a couple of them. And all I really need is one of them to go to 100 mil market cap. Dump it all, there's $1 million. Do you know what I mean? Like, job done. Well, not job done, but you know what I mean. It's like, I've got some concentrate, well not concentrate, but I've got some decent bets. And I'm pretty sure at least one of them is going to go to like 100 mil market cap from, you know, 2-ish. And when they do, it'll be a good chunk that kind of covers off the projects that I have invested in and haven't done particularly well. Okay, so been so bored by this PA, start watching Hood Guys Wrestling. You like my charts then, Jesse? Nice. All the hopes in Nvidia, yeah, I mean, I guess so, like in terms of TradFi and TardFi and all that kind of stuff. I don't really look at it too much, but it's kind of remiss of people not to look at the dollar in terms of, you know, what's going on from a risk appetite perspective. And I'll just redraw all this because it's pretty obvious what I'm going to redraw, isn't it? Just a simple range play. Like, if anyone's been genuinely looking at CT, like, you'd have seen it before. Like, it's just at a range low. It's had a really strong move off the range low, which would kind of indicate risk off from a you know, standard TradFi market perspective. And we're seeing a volatility being quite suppressed on Bitcoin. We talked, or maybe I talked about it in the group, in the Paragon on my outlook in terms of like this meme level across here. If we reject from there, then it's probably going to be a little bit painful for alt longs, which we did, and it wasn't particularly great. I had a wonderful trade in the outlook on PopCat that I took, failed, and I was literally AFK for this. I was making breakfast for my wife and myself, and then I took a massive shit, which I just thought I'd let you know. And yeah, it fucking proper played out. But what I love normally, right? And those of you who've been following me for a while will remember when I shorted WIF, like way back here, and Crypto Twitter was just like called me a total fucking idiot. I basically rode WIF up like from down here somewhere up to the highs several times, and I shorted it here and sold it down here somewhere. And I love being able to play both ways. Okay, that sounds gay. That's not what I meant. Rip. I think I sold it like there. I think to be fair, what probably triggered people was this target down here at like 44 cents, but fuck them. Yeah, being able to play charts both ways, I will just specify charts, is one of the things that I think is probably not very common. You know, a lot of people are just perpetual bulls, but they trade emotions, I suppose, not charts, as I pointed out to someone earlier. And we are getting quite a lot of divergences like across here, which like that's not particularly actionable, but what it tells you, right, is that the momentum from this leg up, and you can see it in the price action, right? You can see it if you just objectively look at percentage moves. 55% run, 38, 40% run, so it's a weaker move up. This move is much stronger than that move, and if you actually really want to, the reason I didn't include this consolidation is because it's quite a like lengthy consolidation, or 80%. So we're kind of at diminishing returns of the rotation, which I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily expect that. What I would expect is it to run, pull back, and then that's kind of confirmation. Then the higher low is that confirmation of bullish conditions, and people just start ape-tarding a little bit more. And I don't know if that's because conditions have changed, the general liquidity dispersion in terms of there's a bajillion tickers now, right? Like there are millions and millions and millions of coins. It is genuinely ridiculous. And trying to keep up with everything is just like impossible. But like this, yeah, not particularly great. Hello, Frank. Should I sell my Trump meme coin right before the elections? I think it probably becomes a binary bet as we get closer to elections. So one of my bigger positions in terms of meme coins is the MAGA, Dark MAGA, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's a fucking shit coin. Yeah, I'm talking about it on stream. Yeah, fuck yourself if you can't manage your own risk and all that kind of stuff. If you ape your life savings in it, it goes to 0. This is not financial advice. That is your fucking problem. Let's just put that out there, right? Big disclaimers. Right, good morning, good evening. Oh shit, that's me. Did not mean to click on that. I just wanted to get the viewer count up a bit, Get it up +1. +1 viewer. Oh, look, it's me. Yeah, so this is it. Like, literally, I had a bag around 20 cents, I think I bought originally, or something like that. Yeah, it was back here. It was back after this move. Again, SE fucking told me about it down here, and then Elon changed his profile picture and it went like this. We aped 3 shit coins, and I aped the 2 that fucking rugged. I didn't ape this one, like a fucking, yeah, minorly irritating. But, it is what it is. Literal, simple, low volume, relatively low liquidity, shitcoin, but looks like it's pretty fucking sandy, right? As for like elections, I think they finished, when is it, 30th of October, I think? Is it Halloween? I don't know, let's Google it. When the US elections end, 2024. Tuesday the 5th. Yeah, so basically, I want to see what the hell's... I think we get a frenzy on them, to be honest with you. Like, I think there's... this is like the obvious trade, and there's probably MAGA and stuff like that as well. Let's have a look. Oh, MAGA's not as pumped. Okay, fine. Oh, it's reasonably pumped. There's MAGA, there's probably other coins, Tremp, all this kind of stuff. Like, whatever. There's loads of them. I think as we get closer and closer to that election, there'll be a peak in terms of like interest, and everyone will be like, "This is such a great trade." And then yeah, I'll be kind of scaling out the closer and closer we get, because like as we get closer, your risk goes up like that, absolutely exponentially, because people will start front running it. You might get like a blow off top of like by the news type retards, but I'm pretty sure afterwards it's just going to be like that, right? So yeah. Hey bro, how are you, man? Yeah, I haven't seen you in ages. You're not missing much, I just run about shit, to be honest. Yeah, cheers Jesse, 5th of November. So yeah, that's kind of my plan for like DMAGA and stuff like that, like, have some meme coin exposure, like, if the market just keeps running, then it's going to be good to have some like left curve plays. If it doesn't, then, well, fuck it, it's probably all fucked, isn't it? Like, if we drop down, and I think if we lose 60.3 again, I just can't see how it's gonna do anything but like go to Cole's World like 44k. Genuinely, like I don't think there's gonna be enough demand. I think people are capitulating now whilst we're sat in a range. If you'd have told me people would be as bored as they are whilst Bitcoin's at like 62, 63, 64k, I would never have believed you a year or two ago, but now, you know, there's a lot of people that are just giving up, just bored of this price action, just can't be asked. I'm unfiltered today, absolute cold. Yeah, I'm unfiltered, mate. I can't be bothered anymore to like handhold people. I've been handholding people forever and trying to be like, oh, you're not allowed to talk about this, you're not allowed to talk about that. Like, fucking 99% of people on this app or on YouTube or on Twitter are grown ass men, probably between the ages of 20 and 50, right? Like, they don't need fucking handholding. I don't know. Not financial advice. Educational purposes only. Blah blah blah. But, you know, if one of my meme coins goes to 0, I'm not even gonna fucking notice. Right? Like, that's how kind of generally insignificant my positioning is to my entire net worth. Yes, I'll be fucking annoyed. Yes, I'll be even more annoyed if I've tweeted about it. But that's kind of my attitude in terms of risk management. It's 100% risk. Betting what I can afford to lose. Right, let's go on to some source then. So what the fuck are we gonna do if we didn't long the Pico bottom of Bitcoin? Which obviously isn't the Pico bottom. I just literally yeeted all of my Bybit balance into spot BTC here. Contemplating parking my entire net worth into MAGA and retire by the end of the month. I mean, I don't like buying coins when they're like this, to be honest. I think everyone's like, hey, Trump matter, let's go. I think you probably get something like this, a pullback, like generally. I'm probably the same for DMAGA, even though I don't want to say it. In fact, I can dump a bag live on stream if you want. I probably can't get it down to there actually. Probably can't make it do minus 50%. Just say, give an entry for the boys. Just dump it down 50%. Right, load up, lads. We're sending it back. Yeah, I don't think I can do minus 50%. But we can try. But yeah, you probably get like reasonable entries. Like still. Do you know what I mean? I don't think everything goes parabolic because we are quite, you know, I think it's probably more of like a chop fast, some shit like this, right? If anything, or probably just a chop and grind and then just bang like a 10-15% candle when Elon tweets something about Doge, sorry, not Doge, DMAGA or whatever, and then again, you know, the same kind of shit. So if you look at like Nero, the Nero CTO one, no, not this one, this one's brutal. It's kind of what happened, right? Just nothing, bang, nothing, bang, nothing, bang. Like, nice little diagonal meme line. And then bang. Yeah, I expect it'll be something similar on most, like, low cap meme coins. But yeah, I genuinely think the best opportunities lie at the extremes of the IQ scale this cycle in general. Should have done that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, it's always easy to say though, but it's really fucking difficult to buy a dead chart. I had the same because I was looking at like DMAGA at like 0.026 or something, and I was or 0.0026 whatever it was, and I was like, fuck me, I had literally like 0 volume at the time. It was down here. Oh yeah, it was down here. It was 0.02 something like this. I was like, fuck, am I literally buying a dead chart? Like, this is fucking wrecked. And now everyone's like, oh yeah, I wish I'd done it earlier. And it's like, yeah, but mate, it takes fucking, you know, you'd be fucking stupid to put your entire net worth in it. Like, yeah, it's only gone up like 4, I think. Yeah, 4, I guess 5x at the highs. I was supposed to say together, that's 70 cents. Yeah, so that's what I was going to come on to, is like, what's the next moves? Like, for me, I'm only interested in trading Bitcoin around 2 levels. And you might have guessed it, it's here and here. Like, where we're at right now, I'm not particularly interested in trying to play a breakout trade, right? If I just delete all of this, ETH BTC, disgusting. If I start looking at this and go, like, what's going on? there's not really much for me to try and trade here. It's just in a bit of an awkward spot. There's like really choppy price action going on. You know, if I was really desperate from a low time frame perspective to get a position, I'd be looking at this pivot across here, right? We had a nice sweep of the former highs up here, and I'd be treating this price action here as a range and just going, okay, this is my range to play around. Do I play a range reclaim? Probably not, because we're in kind of downtrending conditions. You know, I prefer playing like you know, strong run up, deviation, sweep these highs, come back to range lows, take the lows, and then reclaim. I prefer that massively rather than, you know, current meta is downtrend. Like recent price action on Bitcoin is down, as in the last day and a bit, so I'm basically playing for a trend reversal. So I don't like range reclaims when I'm reversing the trend with it, if that makes sense. And I get that like the consolidation is kind of the trend, but the move in, I guess, the move into the range has an impact to me and my bias on which way it's going to break. You know, I'll assume continuation generally, particularly if there's a hefty rejection like this, right? We tried to break the trend here, we failed, we're back in it, and now we're back at the range lows. Simple, yeah? Not particularly great. The caveat to that is obviously Nero, because I'm long, and that's my emotional bias. But it's actually because it has a good setup, which we've kind of been through around high time frame levels. Sorry, it's 1,000 Nero, isn't it? Because it's which is like this. I still think this is pretty reasonable, even though we've got a slowdown of momentum and, you know, a bit of a divergence across the top. It's kind of this last stop, last chance saloon for it to kind of hold up and break out in my mind. And again, if it comes back under there, you could take an aggressive short, but I don't usually like shorting the highest beta coins unless there is a strong signal. And the signal for Popcat, in case you were wondering, which obviously this is hindsight, but I went through it in the group, is this divergence across the highs combined with Awesome Oscillator. So it was the fact that across these highs, it's quite nice in terms of like there it's quite clear. There it's a little bit janky because we can't that one off. But you've got this, you've got the confluence of this, and actually you've got the kind of consistent run up and then smack into this level and again here. And what I should have done is jumped in here, but like I said, I was AFK. Normally I would have done, because normally I quite like over and under in terms of take all the liquidity over here and then come back into the range that was established, which was, let's just delete all that, which was essentially this. It was very clean, stopping out the Bybit retards, of which of course I am one of them. So yeah, that was kind of thought process on that. But like everything, it's you know, consolidating now, and if we're looking for the next leg of the trend, again, I think it's pretty simple. I think your levels are really, really clean for things like Popcat. Really, really easy to just play breakouts. Probably, I don't know, I'm drawing it all the way over there. Trying to position to IO, but I don't know how. Yeah, so Sui obviously had a really, really good run. I was literally looking at meme diagonals. And Sui tends to run in the Say, tends to follow it. And what we had on Say earlier was it's breaking out of a really nice range, and I was long in here somewhere, and we just, you know, got cucked and it reversed. But if we take a step back from a high time frame perspective, like, we're above this kind of pivotal level in terms of like this form of consolidation down here. Oop. Right. So we've had that classic structure shift, down, consolidate, start going up. From a structure perspective, you've got the higher highs, you've got the higher lows. If this closes like this and forms a lower high, then yeah, that's kind of the structure argument out the window. But what we were doing earlier was we were breaking out, and it looked like we were going for the run in terms of both relative strength on spaghetti and breaking out of this range and consolidation. Now we're holding up here, but I don't think there's any quote-unquote easy trade opportunity because there's no divergences going into the lows. I can just look at price action and see that there's not going to be. Maybe on a 1 minute basis, but it's not particularly great. I don't want to take the divergence. What I would rather do is see a bit of a sell-off and then see a little bit of strength come in on say, noting that it's very high beta because it is literally the quote-unquote worst performing asset at this point in time. But what I like to play is both ends of the extremes, so that and that. Doesn't mean I'm going to short it. What it means is, as Bitcoin moves, this moves a lot. So if Bitcoin is going up, the theory would be that that goes up a lot with it. Sup? She's rooted home saffron. Eh? What is that? What is that name, brother? Nvidia Corp. What are we looking at? Weekly RSI. What a fucking mess. So, what's your... I'll start with chat. What's your observations then about the weekly RSI this? What are we thinking, chat? We'll do a little bit of live education. Anyone brave enough to guess might be entered in the $100 million giveaway that we may have time for. So, kind of everyone's right? It's one of those things where I can do whatever, I can say whatever I want, and we'll just see what happens. But the way that I view this, my interpretation, because a lot of this is like art, right? Everyone's got their own view. Some people like it, some people think it's gay, like my chart colors. There is a divergence here, right? It's quite clear. Here. That's not a divergence, because that's a lower high. That's a lower high. This here, that's a lower high, and that's a lower high. So, it's not really a div, right? What it is, as FS said, loose power, but I'm going to assume you meant lose power, which is, each kind of stab, or each run up has got less momentum, yeah? So you've got very, very strong momentum here. I'm just going to do vertical grid lines because I think that really kind of helps emphasize the point. You've got less momentum there. Next high, less momentum again. And then we're back here. But the interesting point for me is this, right? It's the fact that we've basically hit the 50 and reset the trend. So what tends to happen in markets is we range, and then we trend. And there's a stat that says that we range for 70% of the time and trend for 30%. I'm not quite sure how true that is, right? Don't quote me on it. I didn't fucking conjure that up in my Excel wizardry. But it kind of feels about right if I think about the amount of time where I'm just waking up every day frantically longing, being really easily forgiven with bad trades because the market's just up only, right? Like, for me, in this period, what you get is the RSI resetting, yeah? And when RSI resets at 50, it kind of says the trend has lost its strength. Decision point, right? Decision point at that 50 mark. And if the bulls are still in control and we're still in a bullish environment, it'll go up, which is what it's doing, right? And if it's bearish, you would expect that actually we flip that momentum, bears take control, and actually we start going down. Now, we're approaching all-time highs for Nvidia, and yeah, it might get cucked, it might, you know, pull back a bit or whatever, but like, I wouldn't want to be standing in front of this for me personally. That's a bit of a cleaner div. Much cleaner. In terms of, you know, they are actually lower highs, whilst you've at least got one. That looks like an equal high. Maybe if I squint my eyes and zoom in a little bit, I might find that I'm, oh no, technically it's a higher high, isn't it? Yeah, technically it is. I mean, not by much, but it is. Yeah. Yeah, so that's that is most certainly a divergence. Quite hard to jump on board something like this though, because it's basically been up only since October 22. The major pullback was that carry trade, I'm assuming that's when that was, and other than that it's literally been up and to the right. I mean, for me, like, aggressively trying to fade this, it's quite difficult. Just assuming it was a shitcoin chart, because obviously I don't really trade TradFi. Moves very differently to crypto, doesn't it? Again, it's just been like up only. Like I don't like shorting something like that. Like, I guess the only way that I'd try and jump on board a short is if there was a squeeze up here, and just treat this like a little range. But yeah, yeah. If S&P retraces, Bitcoin pulls back as well. But like, we are in an uptrend ever since the old carry trade got shagged. But I get your point, that we're losing momentum. But I mean, I'm not going to trade that, right? Divergence is all right, and even on the awesome oscillator, it's, you know, no purple pinky bars. That's what Warren B told me this morning. Yeah, I'm sure Warren B is smashing his RSI on charts, but he is like 95% cash, isn't he? Or some ridiculous stat I've seen, but I don't really trouble myself with the kind of positioning of billionaires. I'll look at some charts and manage my own risk. But yeah, where are we going next? Anyone got any shitcoins you want to look at? I'm like pretty bullish on stuff like Pepe. Like, I still think like some of the trad memes like go okay. This was like the Pepe trade from before, which is pretty much fully retraced. You know, I'm looking for let's go back. You know, I'm looking for break a downtrend, reclaim structure, and go. Like real simple stuff, especially like on stuff like Pepe, which has got such nice high time frame levels in terms of like across here. Pretty much where I've drawn it actually, which coincides with break of this low time frame, reclaim of this range, or maybe a breakout, maybe I'll play up here in terms of a breakout trade. FTM, let's have a look at FTM. I haven't looked at FTM for a while. FTM's not a coin I've traded for a long time, to be fair. But I know it's been giga traded by peeps. I mean, it's pretty fucking strong, isn't it? You look at most other coins and it's just like, you know, it barely pulled back and reclaimed the range. Not looking particularly great with these divergences. I probably just wouldn't play it, to be honest, because it's just not interesting enough. What's your thoughts on the Moondang volume? Wouldn't exchanges want to get a piece of that action? I think the problem with a lot of these things... I'm probably going to get the wrong one. Is it this one? Moondang CTO. Problem with a lot of these, I imagine, is like the wallet maps. Oh, Sol one. Well, the thing with Sol, I'm also assuming that to do that kind of volume, it probably cost you about $20, doesn't it? Because the transactions are so cheap. But yeah, I mean, generally, one of my friends like aped it like way down here somewhere. And obviously should have held, but big UL. Yeah, the thing is that like, I mean, exchanges seem to be listing all sorts of dog shite at the moment, don't they? Let's be honest. They just don't seem to care what they list. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, that they're just going after volume. Or if actually that's probably the warning sign that we all need to be like, yeah, it might be the end, boys. I'm choosing to believe that it's mass adoption of my shitcoins and nothing more. Because that suits my personal bias on my positioning. But also it suits the whole thought process of, you know, above 60.3k is just bullish, and that's it. That's all I want to. That's all I want to think about. Above 60.3, I'll stay a bull, and if it comes back down there, we lose this level, then I'm just gonna AFK for a while. Yeah, the CT will just be fucking garbage anyway. I'm just gonna focus on Paragon. I'm probably gonna just do like a. I'm toying with what to call it, but like, I quite like the notion of Tard to Trader. Like at the ER course. Come to the ER, not the emergency room. Just get your ER. Turn from Tard to Trader. Oh, you're welcome, Justin. Thanks for being here. Thank you guys for being here. Especially when it is boring, right? When it is slow. Like, this is the time where people who put the hours in, I think, reap the rewards when it's easy mode. Because you're sat here, you're trading tough conditions. You know what to kind of expect. You've been planning for it. You've managed your exposure. You've got plans in place. You've thought through the kind of tokens you want to be exposed to. You know that if you end up being long 20 different shitcoins, you're actually really just long one coin, which is Bitcoin, by proxy of the fact that if Bitcoin shits the bed, everything's going to shit the bed. So you kind of learn a lot during the process, even if it's a lot slower during these conditions. And then when it does go easy mode, you're just much more prepared. You understand your emotions, you've got a trading plan, you know that actually RSI can stay, you know, up here for longer, but as soon as it starts pulling back, if you're up significantly on positions, then, you know, maybe you want to start trimming some off. Myro actually had a really good rotation today, didn't it? I mean, I talked about this on last week's Paragon stream, actually, because someone said it, or maybe it was last week's public stream, but someone was talking about Myro. And I said, like, I thought Myro was great. Myro had some really good runs. But, like, for me, this big pivot, like, it's still in this accumulation range. Like, there will be a breakout play, assuming conditions stay relatively favorable. Right, there's going to be a breakout play, I reckon, on Myro, and it'll be quite nice. So I think it's definitely one to have on your radar. I think there'll be a consolidation up here. I think we might even get like some vertical accumulation and then just like bang. Something like that. Like, because just look how clean it is in terms of like rejections previously. Like, look at it. Absolutely clinical. So I think if, I shouldn't say when, if we break through that resistance, then it's just going to go bang, you know, 10-15% candle quite easily. So yeah, good shout. I'm actually going to put that up here. When it stops being a cunt. CHZ, man, that's a ticker I haven't heard in a long time. I was gonna say, it looks like a similar thought process, really, just in terms of like, there's like I always want to go after stronger coins, right? There's a reason that I was looking at what's it called, Nero, which is now like live shitting the bed, which is great, but whatever. Because it was strong on here. If I put CHZ on here, it might even be on here still from previous iterations. If I put it on here, you're not even gonna see it. It's gonna be so fucked in terms of how far off it is. It's just not even gonna appear, because plenty of coins have like come out of this like little accumulation range. You know, we've got, you know, a lower high here. We can't hold this previous level. It's just not particularly strong. So I just think there are better opportunities than CHZ. I like what they were building though, to be fair. Still piling into Pendle. I feel like a violin player on the Titanic. I must admit, I've not looked at Pendle in a little while, and it might even been you, Matthew, as to why I've looked at it before. But I mean, again, like, this is better, right? This is what I'm saying, like, in terms of like just looking at like meme levels and having that kind of structure of accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown, accumulation, etc., like repeating, right? Stage 1, 2, 3, 4. Really good model to have just in your head, right? Like this here is likely that 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, meh. I guess that's 2, isn't it? And then that's kind of 3, but it's quick. And then 4, and then what's this? Is this reaccumulation here? This would be my bet of like, if I want to hold my position, my invalidation is basically somewhere under here. That's literally it. But it's a much better option, in my opinion, than something like CHZ. Sorry to sorry to my boys at CHZ. Glenfiddich, nice whiskey. Not that I drink whiskey, actually. That's what I used to buy my wife many years ago, actually, Glenfiddich. But yeah, quite clean, just in terms of that pivot. You just don't want to see it lose it. Aptos. I'll do Aptos, and then I will tell you a normal life in the day of Charlie, which isn't very normal at the moment, but ooh, Aptos. Aptos is actually sending. I mean, very LARPy. We'll go with some LARP levels, shall we? And we'll say, like, you've just seen me do it on several other charts, but like looking at what's kind of pivotal, like that's kind of pivotal, and it's good to see that we're bouncing off said pivotal meme level. I wouldn't be trying to long here personally. You know, that was obviously nice and played out well, but retest of former range highs, quite simple in terms of trend continuation pattern. But yeah. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be playing it right now. Push up, reclaim, that'd get me in. Because you got so much potential like upside in terms of like running it back to the highs. Actually quite a nice pattern. Magus likes this pattern because it's like the big booty pattern of like, you know, there's not really much in terms of like reaccumulation. But once you clear that, there's not much resistance up to the highs basically. So yeah, definitely worth having on the radar, especially if you're, you know, bullish into Q4. So yeah, good shout. And yeah, one of the strongest on the day. I don't know why I've got some of this shit on here, man. Baby Doge. I reckon it's you guys asking for stuff. What's Kai doing? I wish Kai would just go back to fucking like $2.50, whatever the hell it got to. It's only like 20 million market cap or something. Ridiculous. Yeah, well. Market's fucked, boys. That's it. I'm out liquidated. Bozo. Is that an insult, or is that a ticker? I don't even know these days. So what's a normal day look like? So at the moment it's a bit disrupted because I'm doing the school runs and stuff like that, which I don't do too often, to be honest. My wife does most of it, but normal day, wake up, say good morning on Twitter, say good morning in the Paragon, catch up on the market, so see what's happened overnight. Usually I use Spaghetti, so I will be using, I should use this actually on stream because it's great, but I just didn't know if it would lag my connection out. Oh, it seems perfect. Perfect. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, so I'll just see what's pumped and see what's like odd. Like, what the fuck is Turbo? Like, why is Mario pumping? Mew? Like, Tao's going good. Okay, yeah. So there's a little bit in AI, but AI as a sector is pretty shit. Like, you know, Bitcoin stuff isn't doing what I thought it would do. Like, I've been pretty like, not bullish on STX. That's probably too too aggressive. But I've been optimistic for a run on STX for a little while now, but it's just not really happening. Yeah, and is there anything else that I want to pick out? So like, Say was the one down here that I picked out like this morning when I was looking. What was it? I probably can't replicate it on the basis of it was a lower time frame rotation, but yeah, Say was the one that was, I think it was about 6 o'clock this morning that was going. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, it's not going to show me now because it's I can't be asked to use the replay tool because it's replay tool's cucked. But see what's going on, like what's the meta, right? Try and establish what the meta is. Go through like Bitcoin chart, obviously, see where we're at in terms of high time frame, then into lower time frames. Is there anything obvious going on in terms of divergences, yada yada yada? Like what we playing for? Like here, like let's say I woke up and this. I wake up fresh at the desk. This is what I see. Like, what am I going to be doing? I'm going to be going right. What's my daily levels? Well, I've kind of got this around 61. I've got this, and I've got this basically around the highs somewhere. Probably drag that down a bit actually in terms of that. Okay, so we've got nothing major worth mentioning. Am I concerned about the trend? Not particularly. This is just a daily reset on RSI. Market structure is still okay, not the best in terms of this is now a lower high, sorry, like with a pretty solid rejection. So if you were being truly, you know, market structure guru, you would be like, right, it's just going to keep trending down. But to me, this is like the decision point, really, whilst we're at that 50 point. Like, I could be aggressive and I could short it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to just delete all of those doodles, and then I'm going to go into like a much lower time frame, right? And what am I interested in? Well, I'm interested in, like, obviously I would have traded this, I would have been here for all of this, and I probably would have stopped about here. I wouldn't have seen the sell-off, I wouldn't have seen necessarily this. Let's pretend I slept through all this, whatever. You know, I'm now looking for, like, what's my bias for the day? So, do I want to short the lows? So, high time frame, am I massively bullish or bearish? I'm still choosing to be turbo bullish for above 60.3. I'm going to just have a bullish bias in general. Now, what am I looking for in terms of triggers? Well, okay, we're basically set at a range low. We've had this low here. Bosh. We've swept that low. We've had another go at it. We seem to be recovering from it slightly. So if we can come back to 62.2, I'm going to be quite comfy trying to long some alt rotations. What those alt rotations are going to look like? Well, whatever's kind of strong on here, really. And what's strong on here? So we've got Pepe, we've got Mew, we've got the kind of standard stuff in terms of you know, strength. So look through some of these. What looks good? What looks reasonable? Popcats had a massive sell-off. So this has, you know, has had a 20% sell-off. right? And actually, we've got some levels here that we can play around with. We could play a little rotation. We could see how that goes, right? Jumping a little long, start fleshing it up, start executing, start clicking, start going on a little rotation down here. Invalidation is obviously somewhere around this low. Play a little rotation, starting target range high, but I'm not going to cap it there, right? I'm not going to be like arbitrarily this is my target. It's just this is where I need to be very conscious of sellers stepping in. And if we get a really strong rotation, so let's just pretend that we took this so I can actually talk through it live. You know, if we get that strong rotation up, then I'm going to start looking for, well, maybe I take half off up here. But if I've longed the strongest asset and it's just going up and it just keeps kind of cutting through levels like a hot knife through butter, why the fuck would I sell it? Now, it's hard to do and talk about it, evidently, as I'm doing it, or as I'm trying to talk through it. But yeah, Popcat's pretty high beta, pretty good in terms of like relative strength. So you know, I wouldn't want to be getting rid of it quickly, if that makes sense. I'd want to be riding it for a while, particularly if you go back to that like model I talked about in my like. I talked about at the start of the stream in terms of markup, distribution, markdown, reaccumulation. You kind of have to think in that basis. Like, what phase is this? And I'm going to treat it as though it's reaccumulation. So that's kind of my day. It's kind of an illustration of how I would structure a trade. And it actually just so happens that now's a reasonable point in terms of a potential pivot from a low time frame rotation. But equally, if you're sat there looking at Bitcoin and you're going, right, we get the reclaim and it doesn't really do anything interesting or just rejects and starts dying off, then I'll micromanage that position and I'll just close it. I don't like being aggressive short here unless you get in a really illiquid move up that just fucking gets instantly clapped. And then just pile in and you just follow it down and then that should stop. Sorry for the chat, hey, don't block me please. 71400 important resistance on Bitcoin. Let's have a look. 71400. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clean across those highs, mate. Like, I think what normally happens when we get like up or close to all-time highs is everyone goes absolutely mental and they just expect a candle to just do that, right? And just fuck off straight to 100k. What normally happens is something like this. And we just fucking chop everyone up for years. Yeah, literally fucking decades. We found fair value of Bitcoin. No, literally, it feels like years, but we do something like this, let's sweep the lows, and then do something like that, and really bait everybody. But yes, it's a pretty pivotal level in terms of the consistent highs across there, which obviously I'm short from 72k still, so market can do what the fuck it likes. Kick W. It was like, what's it going to stop you to... When are you going to close that short? Never, the market's going to stop me. /liquidate_Charlie. Come and get me, motherfuckers. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's too much more to cover, to be honest. Like, I think a lot of the market at the moment is dull. I think if you follow me, like, you know that I don't tweet about many charts. Like, in the last few weeks, I've had positions on, like, some low cap shit coins, which, yeah, sadly I wasn't early on Nero and I could have been, but my apologies for that one. I'm just gonna remove Matic. This is the last time I've looked at it. But in terms of what like I traded, so I've traded Pepe, which is here. Trade Popcat, fucking relentlessly, shielded down people's throats. Sui, I traded that, but I didn't really talk about it. because I got offered an OTC deal on it at 50 cents. I didn't take it. So I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make money on it because it's fucking locked for 6 months. And I think the ticket sizes were like 10 or 25k or something. And I was like, oh fuck it, can't be asked. But obviously it's now up at like $2 or something stupid. Yeah, Popcat done very well. Pepe, what else? Whiff. I haven't really talked about Whiff, but I'm still randomly long a bit of Whiff. But yeah, the point being that I tend to just ram high beta shitcoins down people's throats. And Popcat in particular was one that, I mean, at one point I was shilling it every fucking day. And apparently they paid some people to do it. Fuckers never paid me. Hashtag not a disclosure. I'm joking, they didn't really. It's just Shop City, I'm basically AFK. Yeah, that's fair, mate. I mean, there's a lot of, like, good rotations out there. But I think the difference between, like, trading this and trading when it is, like, shit hot is, like, some of the runs, like, some of these moves on Popcat have been absolutely amazing, right? Some of the breakouts, like this, absolutely insane, like, really, really good moves. But you have to trade the one asset that's moving, right? You have to trade the one asset that's running hard. Like, you can't just long any old dog shit. Like, if you were long, like, ETC, which I've considered longing several times, as, like, you know, ETH beta, which ETH is in the bin, by the way. Absolutely fucking depressing how dog shit ETH looks. But this is probably, like, the final do or die for Ethereum. You know, you buy it at 2.4 and it either goes to 5k or it goes to fucking 0. So, yeah. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should just buy some because of how much hate it's getting. Hey B, how's it going, mate? But equally, I'm exposed enough to, like, coins that are actually moving. Got a small ETC scout the other day. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's fine to, like, trade from a, like, low time frame rotational basis, right? Like most things are. But realistically, it's just not wonderful. CFX was hilarious last night. What happened with CFX? Just bounce up. Oh yeah, look at that. Fuck me. Bump it. Sell it off. Crush the plebs. Find their shorts. Liquidate them. Now. Got a bit nice. You shorted it, did you? Savage. Yeah, I mean, market is not happy at the moment. We're just going down and to the right. Good old butt corn. And on that bombshell, it might be time to finish the stream. Not really too much going on, is there? I'll probably end up going into the depths. The darkest depths of shitcoins, to be honest, over the next few days. We've got a channel in the Paragon group called... what's it called? It's called... Trash Dog Shit Low Caps High Risk Dior NFA. Greetings from Zurich. Oh, thanks, Brez. What scenario or environment would you allocate risk in crypto or spot long term? I mean, for me, there's two areas which just depend on your time frame, right? So firstly, there's obviously the likes of Bitcoin, Sol, ETH, etc. Basically, high time frame cycle plays. Like, I don't think that you can get much better than a very simple system for just allocating spot. And, you know, it can be literally something as simple as, like, weekly AO crosses, like, literally. There's a slide from one of my old videos which is like this. It's like, you know, even if you're just doing stuff around, like, when to allocate, like, allocate when a cross is bullish, and sell when a cross is bearish. Like, you would have bought there and sold there. Like, if you start adding some EMAs in that, which obviously Awesome Oscillator is based on EMAs, like, you'd have bought there, you would have sold there, but you probably would have taken a bit off before then. Like, I genuinely think that, like, simple for high time frame trading is much better. Like, if you are, like, wanting to deploy, like, is this consolidation good? Well, it's either going to break up or down, isn't it? Which sounds really dumb, because obviously it is dumb in terms of, like, it's gonna break up or down. Like, just fucking, that's paid group leader larpy shit, isn't it? Don't get me wrong. I fully appreciate the irony. Like, it's not a particularly great time for me to just be deploying massive amounts of spot, if I'm being honest with you. Like, my spot is allocated on the basis of it's risk managed. I've got my invalidation. You know, I've got everything kind of set out quite clearly in terms of what I expect to happen. And if it doesn't go my way, then I will simply delete the 20% that never happened. But no, I will just take the small loss, right? I'm gonna lose like a couple of percent or whatever it is. Like, it's not a biggie. Doesn't really make a difference to me. Like, I'd much rather it worked, obviously, but yeah. It's quite difficult for me just to be like, oh yeah, I'd max deploy here, because the truth is I wouldn't. Like, and like my current view of the market is, you know, it's bullish, but it's very risk managed bullish. So I don't wanna give you, not advice, my thoughts, if I wouldn't give my nan the same answer, right? Probably the best way of putting it, isn't it? Does that make sense? Leave memes volume to up, yeah. It does make sense. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad, because, you know, the thing is that it'd be very easy for me to sit here and just be like, yeah, fucking turbo bull, buy my bags, blah blah blah, and, you know, try and get you guys to pump the charts for me so that I've actually got a chance to, you know, breaking even on some of these buys and stuff. But the reality is that, you know, I think taking some risk managed bets now, as I tweeted the other day, actually, I tweeted something like, let's say the market goes down. Oh, the music stopped, doesn't it? Let's say the music goes down. Let's say the market goes down from here, right? This absolutely breaks down. We see the market just die off. Bitcoin just fucking full capitulates. Yada yada yada. Like, market's fucked. It's probably gonna be fucked for years, right? Maybe even longer, because we're probably gonna still have quite a few leeches trying to just maximum value extract, launching another meme coin every other day that then just, you know, peels money out of the market. And like, as that happens, like, I can't see, you know, a ton of new retail plebs coming in and being like, oh yeah, man, crypto's the best thing ever, because they're not going to make money. And if they're not making money, they're not going to bring their mates into it. If they're not going to bring their mates into it, then how's all the exit liquidity going to kind of ramp up? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not. So now is kind of not my bet against the market dying. It's just, if the market dies here, I'm fine with it. But I would have taken my last chance at catching the kind of tail end of the move, right, if we break up. That's my thought process. That's my logic around the whole scenario that we find ourselves in at the moment, really. I think it makes the most sense, to be honest. So it just pays to be bullish here. Well, it might not pay to be bullish here. I just think, if you think about it from a scenario perspective of all the different scenarios that could happen, yeah, it's the one that makes the most sense. Because otherwise, I think it genuinely will be, you know, years for the market to recover again. I don't want that. Right. Any more for any more? Cheers, Charlie. You are welcome, my brother. KMNO? Is that brother? What's your favourite football team? It was Manchester United, and then Canton. I quit like around my birthday. So that was 25 years ago, probably, something like that. Keep kimono, Charles. I need confidence. Nah, Jova. I don't think it's over, mate. I think it's just like if we're being objective about things, like this is the last place I think to take on risk. Like it's a sensible place to take on risk. Change market structure. This needs to hold up. If it doesn't, and this just cascades through, well, yeah, I get stopped on a couple of positions. I lose a bit of money, but you know, the next leg down will be brutal and probably be the end of this. It would be considered the end of this bull run, I think. So that's the thought process. Those arrows. Yeah, I know what you're saying, mate. It's pretty brutal, isn't it? In terms of, I'm just like, lol, market's over, boys. It's over. But hopefully it's not. Hopefully we hold up here. But if we don't, then fuck it. We will. But yeah, cheers for joining. Cheers for signing up, you know, to YouTube and subscribing to my wonderful content. Appreciate all of you. 4,000 subs now. I'm, you know, an influencer. I'm just gonna close the stream down and then I'm gonna go and drive my can't remember what it was, a McLaren, I think, into in the pouring rain and have an accident like a true influencer. That's the way to do it, isn't it? Like that Jack, whatever his name is. No, guys, thanks for your time. Like, you're all there as well. Like, I get that I'm the one that's yapping on, but, you know, you're all here. Cheers, boys and girls. I will see you soon. Au revoir.